Hello, all you beautiful, free-minded thinkers. J.R. Dukes here, and I got a great story for all you folks out there that love Donald Trump the way I love Donald Trump. A New York Court of Appeals has lifted the gag order that crazy judge out of New York City has imposed on our favorite president, President Donald Trump, and he's no longer going to be restricted in what he has to say concerning the court or anything else. And I have a video from Fox and Friends that I want us to take a look at that right now together. So without further delay, here we go.
And for the former president, a New York judge lifting Trump's gag order in his ongoing civil fraud trial over free speech concerns.
I don't know if his lawyers are happy or not about that.
Take a look at these polling numbers here. This is the first thing. His polling numbers are up in addition to the good news from the New York Court of Appeals. He is way ahead of the pack, not just on the Republican primary, as you can see here, 62% to the closest person, which is, of course, is Ron DeSantis at 14%, but he's also ahead in the national polls.
And on the ongoing legal battles are boosting him in the latest polls. Look at this. Our latest Fox News poll just came in. It shows a dominant lead over Republicans, and he's also beating President Biden.
Let's bring in the man, Sean Hannity. Sean, first of all, it feels good to interview you now. And,
Oh, really? You like the shifting roles here?
Feels
By the
good.
way, let's give a big...
I wanted to tell you briefly, I don't normally like to gossip, but we'll go ahead and gossip right now. Sean Hannity, as you see right there, the girl in the middle is supposed to be his girlfriend. At least that's what I've been told in published reports. That's, what's her last name? Emile Hart. If you know the lady's name, put it down in the comments below and let me know. But she's been on Fox and Friends for quite some time, and her longtime boyfriend is Sean Hannity. So good for them.
Out here, big hand, LJ on Fox and Friends. How great is that?
No, thanks. So,
by the way, for the record, as long as we're all here together,
let me do it.
Because
He's not going to let me do it.
you first worked on my show.
This is true.
Then you abandoned me
Here we
for
go.
Fox and Friends.
Right.
You can explain to America why.
We gave him benefits. You know why? Sean Hannity said take the job. That's why.
I did. I'm happy for it.
But seriously, what does this
take the
mean?
job because they'll wake you up with a marching band like we did in
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What does this mean for the former president? Is this just a way to avoid an appeal process?
Well, first of all, the last time I checked, we are the United States of America. We have certain constitutional protection, we have freedom of religion, freedom of speech. Well, how does a judge put a gag order on a defendant in the middle of a case when he wants to go out to the public and explain exactly what his side is? Right. It is.
Yeah, imagine what he's talking about right there. You're Donald Trump. You live in the United States of America. You're the former president of the United States, and yet a judge, a Democratic judge at that, is going to tell you that you cannot go out and defend yourself, that you cannot say or do certain things, especially say certain things. If there is one fundamental principle of our country, I mean, the number one thing we were founded on would probably be religion and freedom of religion. Number two, probably almost as close, and that would be freedom of speech. If we don't have freedom of speech, then we miss out on many, many things. Just doing a quick 10-point thing here on why free speech is so important. Democracy, innovation, accountability, individual growth, social progress, knowledge exchange, cultural richness, conflict resolution, peacefully talking about whatever it is that we're conflicting about, self-governance, and it's a human right to be able to say what you want to say.
The antithesis of everything that I believe we as Americans, hold near and dear in terms of personal liberties and rights. And the idea that they tried to silence him in the first place is outrageous. What has happened in this case with this judge in New York, for example, imagine, I know real estate, I've known it for years, I've invested in real estate. I know the property values down in Florida. And I put on my show a 2-acre lot of empty land, nothing on it, no building, it's just dirt, $200 million for a 2-acre lot, $150 million for a 1.5-acre lot. And you can't even find those, and if you do find them, you're going to probably pay the full asking price. And here's Mar-a-Lago with 20 acres, 58 rooms, 38 bathrooms. You're on the intercoastal, you're on the ocean. And this dopey judge who's accusing Trump of shifting valuations. Oh, that was over before they went in. It is the.
Yeah, what he's talking about there is very important for you to understand. The judge in this New York fraud trial went ahead before the trial even began, and he said that Donald Trump and his family and his companies are guilty of fraud, period, before he even basically started the trial, if you will. And by the way, it's a trial in front of a judge only. There's no jury allowed under the New York state law in which Donald Trump and his family was sued under. I live in Florida, and I've talked about this in previous videos. A tax assessment notice, which is what the judge in New York went off of to value Mar-a-Lago and decide that fraud was committed by our former president, is just that, a tax assessment. It is very, very low, and it really has no bearing on the true value of a property. I just got done paying my property tax this month for my home right here in beautiful Zephyr Hills, Florida, and I can assure you the value of the house that they have listed for my residence is literally just a fraction of what it's worth. However, I digress. We're going to continue.
The greatest injustice, and a lot of these cases similarly have these other problems. And I think the American people see it as by these polls.
You see the story today in the Wall Street Journal. Joe Biden is going to get.
I didn't read the Wall Street Journal
He's
yet.
going to get rebuked.
Yeah.
But he's not going to get charged for his documents case. We know no details about it.
Outrageous, outrageous. Our president in Florida was caught with alleged records that were private, top secret, whatever. He is being hammered. That's one of his cases against him, one of his indictments, for allegedly having information that belonged to the United States and was not declassified. Obviously, President Trump would dispute the way I just put that, but that is what he is essentially charged with in one of his cases. However, Joe Biden essentially did exactly the same thing. There was records in his car or his home or something like that, and they have decided, according to published reports, that they're not going to go after, the special prosecutor's not going to go after our current president, Joe Biden. Does this seem like there's a double standard here? What do you think about that? Put it in the comment for me.
No leaks this entire time, 8 months, and he's going to get rebuked, but no problem. We also found out that documents just disappeared. He sent to a staffer, someone sent a staffer to get documents out of a Boston lawyer's office right after the midterm election.
And there's an email chain involved in that
Yes.
that actually shows that they did it on purpose. If you compare Hillary Clinton, 33,000 deleted emails on her servers, none of us had ever heard of BleachBit.
No.
She deletes every server she has. She has personal devices, Blackberries and iPhones destroyed with hammers. SIM cards are removed. Well, if that's not obstruction of justice, I don't know what is.
Yeah, remember that? Hillary Clinton, our former First Lady, former Secretary of State, literally had tens of thousands of private emails. I'm assuming a lot of it was classified. She actually, quote unquote, wiped the server, destroyed electronic devices. Did she face any type of prosecution or persecution, for that matter, by our government? No. But it is what it is. You know what's going on. I know what's going on. You know what's going on.
Joe Biden had 4 separate locations with top secret classified information.
When we woke up this morning, we learned that 2 hostages were found in Gaza. They were dead. One was a young lady. There was a video floating around of her alive, and at the end of the video, you see her body. They found her body. And then the IDF also found another lady who was older, in her 60s. She was going through cancer treatment, and they found her body dead.
Sad.
And then we read this morning that Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib is going to speak.
Yeah, absolutely outrageous what's going on in Israel. I'll be having videos coming out very soon pertaining to what's going on over in Israel and with Hamas. I've made a few videos. If you wish to check them out, I'll try to put a link down below for you. At any rate, we're going to go ahead and stop it there because the video today is about the great news for our beloved former President Donald Trump. I can only do my part. You've got to do your part. I can tell you what's going on. You have to tell your friends, your family. You have to speak the truth out there to people. You need to let them know this nonsense that's going on, that our 2-tier justice system is really out of whack right now. We have one party basically using the government to go after the other party by putting them in jail, by incarcerating them, by finding any way they possibly can to keep them from running. You talk about election interference. This is election interference. At any rate, I do appreciate you joining me today. I want you folks, until next time, to always remember, keep that free mind and never give up. I am J.R. Dukes.